So we're doing something different today. I love reading. I was an English major. I emphasize in writing, but I also love reading. And so today I thought these are like a majority of the books I've read kind of throughout my life. Obviously it's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. And so I thought I could go through them today and just kind of like pick them out and be like, this is this book, especially if they're like good ones. Some of them I might skip over. My books are right now in rainbow order, not within series, except for Harry Potter. That's the only series that is together, I believe, and I think the Unwind series. But I'm just gonna, if it's a series, I'm gonna pull out the first book from the series and just do an overall. I'm not gonna do one on every single book. So let's get started. Some of them on the shelf I also haven't read. Some of them I haven't read in like 8 years. So some descriptions might be a little better than others. Let's get started. And I think one of my favorites is first. This is In the Lake of the Woods by Tim O'Brien. Tim O'Brien is one of my favorite authors. I've only read 2 books by him, but they both blew my freaking mind. So this is a guy, and he is a Vietnam veteran, and he takes his wife to this cabin and adds on like a lake in the woods, in the lake of the woods. And she mysteriously vanishes, and he has like no memory of her vanishing. Like, it's crazy. And so it's him just trying to figure out what happened to his wife, and it's so freaking good. It is so good. Okay, there will be another Tim O'Brien book, don't you worry. Okay. Oh, it fell. You know, Skay has to move. Okay, this is also another book that's phenomenal. This is Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley, and this name might look familiar. If it doesn't, if you know Scott Pilgrim versus the World, this is him. Seconds is a graphic novel. So Seconds is about a chef, and everything seems to be going her way until it doesn't go her way anymore. And this girl appears in the middle of the night, and she's like, hey, all you have to do is like write down your mistake and eat one of these mushrooms, and you'll wake up and the mistake never happened. So she starts doing that, and then she has to like learn about consequences and stuff. This book is so funny. I know it's thick. It's a quick read. It's so funny. It's just, if you liked Scott Pilgrim, even if you just saw the movie, you'll like this book. It's so good. It's so good. You should read it. Okay. Cool. Next. This one is a manga, and this is Shumakara. It's from Peach Pit. They created Rosen Maiden, my favorite anime in the whole world. The styles from Rosen Maiden, that's why I put it up there. I don't know anyone who's seen Rosen Maiden. I love Rosen Maiden though. Shumakara, I only have the first volume, but I did watch a lot of the anime. I can't really find it too much anymore. I don't think I ever finished it, but I was obsessed with this anime when I was in high school, so of course I got one of the mangas, and I'd love to finish reading it, but Shumakara is about a young girl. She's shy, and they live in this world where some people have magical powers. Everyone has an egg. Some people's eggs, they can give them magical powers, whatever. Everyone, if you have one, you only have one. And she wakes up one day with 3 eggs, and they hatch, and she can use them to turn into like a little superhero with all these different abilities depending on which egg she uses. And she joins this like club at her school, and they're trying to get rid of these evil eggs. It's really it sounds weird. It's so cute and good though. And next, the book itself, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is by Brian Lee O'Malley. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is about this guy who falls in love with this manic pixie dream girl, and in order to date her, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes. These are really quick reads. I think I only read up to 3. I have 3 up here. Yes. I believe I only read up to 3, not because I didn't like them, but because when I was reading them in high school. I think they were like $12 each, and I was reading them so fast I didn't have enough money to read them, so eventually I'll probably buy them all and read them all. They're really good, okay? And if you've seen the movie and you like the movie, you'll like these even more. It is so good. So good. I highly recommend it, okay? Is anyone mad if I don't take the next one out because it's not even a book? What if I just don't do it? It's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I didn't like it, and I don't like J.K. Rowling. Next. This, let me tell you. This is October Morning, a song from Matthew Shepard by Leslie Newman. This is a book of poems of Leslie Newman's response to the, brutal killing of a 21-year-old University of Wyoming student named Matthew Shepard. And he was killed because he was gay. It's very sad. And then Leslie Newman arrived on campus 5 days later to give a speech for the university's Gay Awareness Week. And it's really, really sad. I'm gonna be honest. But the poetry is so good. And this is another one that's a short read, but the poems in this, the prologue is called The Fence Before. So if you don't know the story of Matthew Shepard, he was I believe he was tied to he was beaten and tied to a fence and left to die. Yes, okay. And so one of these poems, a lot of these poems are the prologue, The Fence Before, and then there's The Fence That Night. There's one with a tree, there's road, the poems are so good, and it plays with perspective in such a beautiful way, and it's really, really cool, and I think you should read it. So, yeah. And I think a lot of books when I was in high school got a lot of hype, a lot of poem books, and this one never did, and I did not understand why, because this one was so good. This is another one I'm not going to pull out because I don't feel like it, because it's hard to pull the books off the shelf. The Maze Runner, right? Because I'm not pulling it out because everyone knows about it. The Maze Runner is good. If you watch the movies, I recommend the books. If you like the movies, I recommend the books. If you like the books, I don't really recommend the movies. But there's so much in the Maze Runner. It's really cool. If you don't know about it, it's a dystopian. This kid is put into this world, and it's like a cage kind of, and he doesn't really know where he is. He has no memory, and all these other boys live there, and just kind of make a life. And then there's this maze, and there's runners, and everyone has a different job, and he wants to be a runner and go out into the maze and explore. And it's all boys until one day a girl shows up and things go crazy. Okay, so that's the Maze Runner. I'm gonna pull this one out because I liked it so much. Everyone knows about it, but The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I read these so fast, and I read them late too. I read them when I was in high school instead of when everyone else read them in middle school. So good. Okay, if you don't know Percy Jackson, it's a boy. He finds out he's a demigod and his dad's Poseidon, and there's this whole camp that all the little demigod children go to. Really good, okay? If you watch the movies and you like those, I recommend the books, but once again, if you read the books, I do not recommend the movies. I heard there is a TV series, movie, something else, coming out, based off the books though, so I'm excited for that, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully a lot better, but these are really good. I feel like I would enjoy these. These books are meant for younger people. I feel like I would enjoy these today as a 23-year-old, genuinely I do. These books were so good, and I was obsessed. Nobody Is Ever Missing by Catherine Lacey. I read this book more recently. Nobody Is Ever Missing is about this girl, and without telling anyone, she moves to New Zealand, and you're kind of slowly figuring out about her life, and she meets all these different people. You find out that her sister died, and she's going through not only I feel like she gets a lot of culture shock, but she's also mourning and going through these traumatic events all by herself. And it's really cool. It's a really cool book, and I highly recommend it. It's another one that's a short read. Let me get the page number. This one is 244 pages, so if you like the paperback, that's what it's gonna be. Okay, I've said so far that every book has been really good. If there's one book that you read from this little list here. It's this one, okay? If you don't read any of the other ones, whatever. If you don't read this one, we can't. You don't understand, okay? This is Perks of Being a Wildflower by Stephen Chosky. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Also, let me just say I'm so mad that this is on a sticker. This is printed on. Anyways, The Perks of Being a Wallflower is a tremendous book, first of all. It's about a boy named Charlie, and you're reading through these letters that he's writing, and it's kind of unclear and left for interpretation on who the letters are for, if he's even sending them out. And Charlie is a kid, he doesn't have any friends. He meets these step siblings named Sam and Patrick. And it's his story of just like, it's so beautiful. He's becoming like himself again almost, but also figuring out a lot of things and also working through a lot of trauma. It's so good. This book makes me, I'm like crying thinking about it. This book, I don't even have words. Okay? It is a coming of age. I should say that as well. It's a coming of age, because I feel like I don't have a lot of words to describe this book because it's so good and I love it so much. I related to this book in, like, Charlie was so relatable to me, and I feel like some people he might not be, but oh my god. And then it just makes you want to be like a Sam or a Patrick. It's so good, and I think a lot of people don't understand. And if you've seen the movie, I highly recommend the book, because unfortunately things did get left out of the movie that I think makes it really, really good. Like, one good example of this is the relationship between Charlie and his sister isn't shown as much in the movie as it is in the book, and they are a lot closer than they appear to be in the movie. However, I will say this is one of my favorite book to movie adaptations. The author was, I think, included, I don't know his exact role, but he was included in making the movie. I think he was the director, but I don't want to say that for sure. It was really good. They had to leave some stuff out, I'm assuming, for time purposes, but other than that, like, it followed the book really well. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. The movie is so good. If you like the movie, read the book. If you read the book, please watch the movie, because it's so good. I love this book. I love this book so much. And it's a really short read. It's really thin. Page count for this copy specifically is 213. So yeah, quick read, easy. Very emotional though, so be aware. Looking at the time of this video, I think I'm just gonna go through the shelf at a time and have them all be different videos. This one, don't judge me. Don't say anything. I know. It is Girl Online by Zoe Sugg. I really liked these books. There's 3 of them, I believe. I read all 3. Okay, I read all 3. And I'm not ashamed to say it. And I really enjoyed them. I will say, I read these in high school when they came out, so I don't know the exact years. Maybe like 2014. So give that, think this is for like 13 to 15 year olds. I feel like maybe a little older, because I probably read the other ones when I was older and really liked them. If you like fluffy fan fiction, you will like this. It is like reading a fan fiction. That's the type of book that it is. But it's about, also if you like old internet, like old YouTube and stuff, I feel like you will like this. It's about a girl named Penny, and she secretly runs this blog that gets like super popular, and then she starts dating this like famous boy from America. I don't remember the specifics. Oh, her mom's like a caterer or something, and they like cater for his mom's party or something. I really don't know. But they start dating and it's beautiful. And I will say every book follows the same plot line. Like every book kind of like the same thing happens, but it's like different. But I still really liked them, and they were cute, and they just were like warm feeling, like feel good, warm, cutesy, fluffy, fan fiction-y, romance, young books. And when I read them, I really liked them, and I keep them because I remember just they make you feel good, you know, they make you feel like happy and good, and I think that's very, very cute and wholesome despite the controversy that this book has around it. This book is really very, very, very good. This is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I do feel a little bad recommending this because I think it's supposed to be a trilogy, and I read these in high school, so this was over 4 years ago, and I think the third book still hasn't come out. I don't know if it's ever coming out. So I feel a little bad recommending it, but it is very, very good. If you like Harry Potter and you're a little older now, or you like Skyrim a lot, this is something that you'll really be into. It's a fantasy. It is about this character named Quoth, and I'm gonna have to read it because I did read this a long time ago, and I should reread it. It's kind of like a little Skyrim character. He's done a ton of side quests. He's stolen princesses back from sleeping Barrow kings, and he's burned down the town of Trebon. Like this is it, and like he's kind of like this legend. And this is what it says. It's the story of a hero told in his own voice. I'm sorry, I'm not good at reading aloud, okay? It is a tale of sorrow, a tale of survival, a tale of one man's search for meaning in his universe, and how that search and the indomitable will that drove it gave birth to a legend. So it's just kind of his story, like what he goes through, and it literally reads like a new Skyrim game. It's so good. A really great author, really great writing. The imagery is amazing. The world building is like crazy. The way that they describe how the magic works is so like in depth. Like it's so good. The detail in this book is so good. And I really do highly recommend it. It is a lot. I believe the second book also has a little bit of a sex scene. If I remember correctly, and I remember I was reading it in school and I was like, oh. And it is kind of heavier context-wise. I think I read this later in high school rather than earlier, so I was more around 18-ish. Not that you should have to be old, but it's a hard read. It's like a young adult kind of. It's a harder read. But it's so good, and it is a lot longer than the other ones I've recommended. So is the second one. It is a lot longer. It is 661 pages, so there's bigger, but it's not as quick of a read as the other ones, especially because I feel like this one you do need to take a little more time on, but you know. So this video is already 30 minutes long. I'm gonna skip back. I thought about doing it all in one, and now I'm thinking maybe I should do it in a two-parter, because this shelf I feel like will take fast because the majority of it is Harry Potter in that chunk, and then this shelf, it's only these books. This other stuff is like extra stuff and then illustrated versions of Harry Potter, and then this is all my K-pop albums. If you want a K-pop album tour, I'll do that too. So yeah, I think I will do a part 2. I hope you like this type of thing. I feel like I'm not the best at describing books and like how they are. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. Okay. But I hope it was kind of helpful, and I hope maybe you did get a few good recommendations from it. And yeah. And I have books on the ground that I'm gonna go over too. But ooh, I could do this, and then I could do a third book video that was more of like books I read in college. I think that would be good, because all these ones on the ground are books that I read in college. Okay, that's what I'll do. Thanks for watching. I hope you get a good book recommendation. And if you've read any of these books and want to talk about them in the comments, let me know. I try to respond to mostly all the comments that like you know, like I usually don't go no, so I usually respond to them. Yeah. Okay, bye. I'm not gonna make that face again. Okay.